Brittany, everybody, to do that. Unlike the lack thereof for my balls, I was over at my cousin's house recently, and his wife was making fun of me because I was wearing like these old man slacks. And she was looking at me, she's like, Nick, where's your bulge? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, where's your bulge? Look at his bulge. And my cousin's just sitting there with like shorts on, just like spreading his legs, and just big old cock and balls. I'm like, oh shit. I pretended like I didn't know what she was talking about. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm looking down and just like, there's nothing there. I'm like, oh shit. So I spent the next week for psychological validation, staring at other man's packages, where's his bulge? Where's his bulge? Fuck, you guys doesn't have anything. Granted, they're all Asian, I get it, but I was like, there's nothing there. Yeah, but it got me thinking. I had to defend myself. I'm a grower, not a shower. So I've got I was at work a couple months ago, and I have one of my friends I was working with him, and he was telling me a story about how he was telling one of his friends a story about how he and his boyfriend are having sex, and I overheard this. So I'm hanging him. He's like, yeah, I was telling her about how we were having sex, and she was like, oh, wouldn't that hurt? And she was like, or she said oh, wouldn't that hurt? And he's like, well, sweetheart, you don't have a prostate. And she was like, oh. And then I was sitting there hearing this. I'm like, oh. And he's like, don't knock it till you try it. So I was taking a shower earlier that night, and I'm like, I had one of those cool shower handles that was that long. So I don't know. So I was looking at it, and I was like, don't knock it till you try it. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. 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 I'm not gonna. Nah, not for me. Not for me. I'm not gonna. It's not for me. It's not. I'm knocking it. I tried it. I don't like it. I don't like it. No. I pulled the old switcheroo with my buddy the other day on a girl. And for those of you that know what this old switcheroo is, it's when your buddy is having sex with a lady in his bed, and you're hiding in the closet. You're just watching all of this go down. And then, after it's all done, she goes to the bathroom. And when she's in the bathroom, you hear the door lock. You sneak out, and you climb into the bed, and you hide it in the covers, and you fuck the shit out of your buddy. So she's the one that switched it out, I guess. It's not for everybody on that one. So I've got a cat. I think she has mange right now. It's horrible. She's just got patches of fur missing. But the one place on her body she does have hair is her fucking cat pussy. It's fucking disgusting. Because it just shivers. It's she goes in there, her tail shivers. It's it's missing half the fur, and there's usually this little flutter right there. I'm like, oh, God, fucking terrifying. It's all just her just meowing, and just no fur, and then just a little fluff of vagina fur. That's not even a joke. It's just horrible. I just realized that's how gross that is. I've got a buddy, and he's super religious, and he's always pushing trying to get me to go to church with him and stuff. And I always just make up excuses. I'm not gonna go to church with you. He's like, Nick, why not? I'm like, because I don't believe in God. I don't want to do it. He's like, why don't you believe in God, Nick? And I'm like, well, 2 reasons, Clark. I want to make up his name. I don't want to offend him if he ever sees this. It's actually Kyle. But I'm going to call him Clark. No, yeah, I'm like, well, 2 reasons, Clark, Kyle. Child molesters and retarded kids. And he did not take that well. He's like, why so? I'm like, well, I find it hard to believe there's a God up there just listen, I'm in a good mood. Give it all these extra, these 47 chromosomes. Here we go. Let's 46, is it? Oh, shit, I forgot now. 46. I'm going to give this kid an extra for 1, I think. Uh-oh. Yep. Right? Am I in the right one? Okay, there we go. So, I'm in a good mood. Here's an extra one. Oh, no. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Let's make several thousands more of these throughout the next couple hundred years. Makes sense. And then child molesters too. It's like he's up there just like, oh, that guy's about to molest that kid. Free will. Free will. I can't do it. They made these people. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to go to hell, but I can't stop him from doing that. And that kid's going to grow up being a piece of shit, but that's fine. That's not funny. That's terrible. That's mean. That's mean. But cool also, I guess, if you look at it. That's awesome. I don't get along with my dad. He's a piece of shit. He's a homophobe and just a manipulative piece of shit. Yeah. I think just to spite him, if I ever get married, I'm gonna take my. He's also a sexist and like just just all kinds of horrible things. So I think I'm gonna take my future wife's like last name just to spite him. Thought about that. I think that would be the way to go. But I mean, he and I only have two things in common. It's our last name, and the fact that we've both been inside my mother. So that's one thing. And then I've got two bad habits: licking my lips when I get nervous, and getting nervous around children. So walking my niece to school is a fucking nightmare. Like, here you go, Ashley. 300 feet's my limit. I gotta stop there. They warned me. Can't do it anymore. It's bad. On to this one. So I've got I've got a couple of nieces and a nephew now. Actually, two nephews. No, sorry, one nephew and niece. She looks like a boy though, so. No, it's fine. But growing up, it's hard to explain because kids got the Xbox and the PlayStations and the Stratego and all that now, and explaining games I remember growing up playing the game Oregon Trail. I fucking love that game. You remember that game? Great. So, explaining that game to my niece and nephew is a nightmare. It's like trying to explain sex to a kid. It's easier just to show them. So, yes. I'm done with there. That one's good. I don't know. That's good. All right, thank you all.
Damn. Got some cheapish laughs out of that one. All right. Let's give it up for Mr. Manboyz. Oh, yeah. It's a real accomplishment to make a room of people laugh and feel uncomfortable at the same time. Okay. Coming up next is Micah and Mike. And is anyone else coming on after that?
I got you.
All right. So, what's your name?
Cody.
Cody is up on deck. And now something else.